What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about some major updates from Activision, a potential early release for the next Call of Duty, and a serious change that they finally listened to us about. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And as a reminder, code DYNAMITE over on G Fuel's website has now been boosted to 30%, which can save you quite a bit of money from now until February the 7th, and it's perfect timing considering the brand new Sage flavor. In case you guys are a fan of Naruto, take advantage of that with the link down below in the description. And once again, I'll have more 30% code boost over the course of February and future months beyond this. But in case you guys are wondering, why are you still playing Cold War, DK? Why are you playing Fireteam? Or how are you playing Fireteam? I still find lobbies pretty quickly on PS5, but I actually just can't play Vanguard right now. A lot of packet burst issues. I also couldn't find matches earlier since I guess I'm shadow banned, but I managed to find a match after like 30 minutes, but the lag was just ridiculous. So it's been a frustrating last couple of weeks, especially when it comes to Vanguard specifically. So that's why I'm using some Cold War footage tonight. But I do have a separate video coming out soon giving you guys an update on where I am mentally right now and why Call of Duty is in a really tough spot at the moment, especially because of Vanguard and a little bit because of Warzone. I despise complaining, as you guys know if you've watched my channel for a while, but I'll always be honest and upfront with you guys about what I'm feeling when it comes to content. But first and definitely foremost, in case you guys forgot, last year on January 1st, yes, it was New Year's, Sledgehammer dropped a tweet which gave us the hint that they were making the next Call of Duty. They were like, let's try this again, and we kind of interpreted that as, okay, are they going to try a World War II game again? Because by that point, there were already rumors that they would be returning to a World War II setting for their next game. So we got that, but then all of a sudden today, we got a tweet from Infinity Ward, which says, and I quote, "A new generation of Call of Duty is coming soon, stay frosty." So yeah, we kind of already knew that because of other gaming scoopers, the press, even Call of Duty themselves hinted at that before. We knew Infinity Ward was coming back, but the thing is, we didn't get a confirmation about Call of Duty Vanguard or that Sledgehammer was making the next Call of Duty until I think it was May of last year during an investors call. So this year, Activision has confirmed flat out that Infinity Ward is going to be making the next COD, but it's only February. So that's a bit unusual when looking at how Call of Duty has been marketed in recent years. And it's weird that we have the announcement about the next Call of Duty before the CDL season even starts for the current one. That's just a bit unusual to me, if I say so myself. So here's what we're looking at right now. We have the suspicious scooper over on Twitter named Ralph, who's been reporting a lot of specific information about the next Modern Warfare. Maybe his source is at Infinity Ward, or his sources do trust me, he's making everything up. A lot of COD partners and members of the press have reported on this guy's tweets. That's why we're addressing this guy here in my videos. And, you know, if it is a source at Infinity Ward, it's kind of sad considering how terrible Modern Warfare 2019 was in terms of surprises. There really weren't any. Everything got leaked for that game inside and out because people had some loose lips behind the scenes at Infinity Ward, which was really strange, right? They were risking their jobs to go tell randoms on Twitter or even content creators what was going on with their game, and I never understood that. But this Ralph guy went ahead and said that apparently there are 118 days left before some type of reveal or announcement for the next Modern Warfare. He tweeted that about 2 days ago, so that's about, what, 116 days from today. That leaves us with May, and he confirmed that, yeah, that date could change, take it all with a grain of salt, but apparently May is a big month when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise. So is it possible we end up getting the release of the next Call of Duty in late summer or even early October, which would be a crazy change? I know Black Ops 4 did come out quite early because it was competing with Red Dead Redemption 2 for whatever reason. That game needed another month of QA testing, obviously. Everybody knows that. But if this game is ahead of schedule and apparently is an alpha playable state, then maybe this could be the first COD where they're like, hey, the game's ready to go, let's ship it out. And this can make up for how poor the sales and player base have been for Call of Duty Vanguard, as confirmed by Activision themselves today. So we'll get back to that. But I also want to get your thoughts on Warzone 2 real quickly, because other rumors suggest that it wouldn't be coming out until 2023, presumably after Treyarch's next Black Ops. But if it's going to be a clean slate and a separate client entirely, yeah, Warzone 1 will still be around with the integrations from MW 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard. But what will Warzone 2 include? Will it be MW222 weapons? If that's the case, then how will this upcoming Warzone release work come this fall? Other reports have suggested that we are getting a brand new Warzone map already on the same scale as Verdansk and Caldera once the new Modern Warfare game comes out, and I don't think it's likely that we'll end up getting a big new map this fall, and then what, less than a year after that we end up getting Warzone 2 with another new map? I don't think that's going to be the case. So is Warzone 2 going to end up releasing as soon as this fall? It's certainly plausible, and we have a quote from Activision today today, which says that development on COD 2022 and Warzone experiences for later this year, 2022, are being led by Infinity Ward. So yeah, Raven still leads Warzone, of course, but maybe when it comes to Warzone 2 specifically, Infinity Ward is developing the map for it, while Raven helps them out, so that not everybody at Infinity Ward is working on Warzone. Most of them are still working on the next actual Call of Duty multiplayer, the third game mode. Maybe that's what's going on. We also have that tweet from the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost, another scooper, which says that on the anniversary of Warzone, we're supposed to be seeing another map as well, probably on the same scale as Rebirth, a map that could even replace Rebirth, maybe Hashima Island, as we talked about before, and maybe that's this March, right? A new World War II era Warzone map that replaces Rebirth. That could be the case. Maybe Raven's working on that right now, while Infinity Ward polishes up Warzone 2 to release as soon as this fall. Now, in case you guys also missed it, Activision ended up folding today and reverted the loadout change for Caldera, but it only applies to regular Battle Royale, not Vanguard Royale. So people are claiming money did get nerfed. It is still a bit difficult to get your 10K straight off the bat to go out and buy a loadout. So it's almost like they still have integrity behind that decision. They still want to make sure you're not getting your loadout too quickly, but people that were complaining about the pacing of a match, maybe it wasn't just because of the loadout change, maybe it was because it's a new map. People are still getting used to what areas are best, how to play it. They're playing a bit slower than usual. It's not Verdansk. Maybe that's really what it was, but the loadout change made it seem a lot worse than what it really is. So I'm still stuck in the middle about this reverted change here, because it looks like FaZe Swag has to get that tattoo like he promised in exchange for a loadout update. It seems like he already got that, as you can see over on Twitter right now. But a part of me is like, okay, wait a second. I think if they made a change that big when Caldera came out, they should probably stick behind it and have people adapt to it over time. Because if they keep bending the knee to everybody who cries about things, it's just not going to push the franchise forward or allow for positive change to actually happen, since that's the thing with the COD franchise. Every time they make changes, people complain. They don't make changes and it gets too stale. So it's all about finding that middle ground, that balance where you can make everybody happy, and that's definitely hard to do for Warzone. So I'm kind of conflicted on what the best decision could have been for this, but as of right now, people did get what they wanted if they were complaining over on Twitter about the loadouts there. But as you guys also know, there was no investors call today, or else I would have streamed it. We usually get one every quarter, but because of the Microsoft acquisition, apparently they had to push back doing some type of presentation, live phone call where everybody can listen in. They'll hopefully do one next quarter, but for right now, they couldn't do one today. Instead, we ended up getting a blog post with some specific information about what's going on with their revenue, so it's confirmed. They generated $8.35 billion in 2021. Quarter 4 alone was $1.24 billion from in-game content. Still a lot, obviously, but they did confirm, as we all know, that Vanguard sales were lower than previous years, and as a result, has caused lower engagement inside of Warzone. So maybe they had projections months ago, I'm sure they did, that the pre-orders and the sales of Vanguard would be pretty horrific. That's why they were open to considering being acquired by Microsoft, because they said, hey, you know what, our stock is already down, the PR is in the dirt, so maybe this is the time to finally do it. And that's what happened. Microsoft bought them out for billions and billions of dollars. Awfully convenient, of course, that the one time they release a Call of Duty that has the lowest performance in 14 years, they end up getting acquired and essentially saved to where it doesn't really matter now, because the future of the company is bright. If there was any year where they needed a big change like this, where they get bought out, it is now. It is this year. Their stock recovered and the future of the company is looking brighter than ever, since it's confirmed Bobby Kotick is stepping down in 2023. So they also had to confirm Infinity Ward was coming back as soon as possible to just reassure investors and shareholders that, hey, Modern Warfare 2019 sold hella great, and we have a sequel coming out to that game very soon, so it should make up for the failures of Vanguard. Now, we also have this official statement saying, and I quote, "Studio expansion has continued to add development resources worldwide as plans continue for ongoing live operations and new unannounced titles in the Call of Duty universe. As we look to the future, with Microsoft's scale and resources, we will be better equipped to grow existing franchises, launch new potential franchises, and unlock the rich library of games we have assembled over 40 years. That could mean one of two things, at least for me personally. The first thing is mobile crossplay. So we already know that, I think for the past year and a half, there has been some type of Warzone mobile experience in development, and they were hiring quite a bit of people to get that off the ground. What we all knew about that was that it would be some type of battle royale that you can play on console, PC, and mobile all at once. Think of Fortnite, but we already have Call of Duty Mobile as an experience where you can play a battle royale with other people on the phone, you can play a multiplayer, there's a zombies for it, but that was never at all connected with what's going on with the mainstream Call of Duty series. So what if they combine that? Well, hey, Warzone 2 is coming out probably in 2022, 2022, if not maybe early 2023. So whenever that does release, that'll probably be when we start seeing mobile integrations to where you can play on any device that you possibly want with a clean slate, no previous integrations from other Call of Duties. It'll just be the MW2 weapons and mechanics, and then they'll go from there. That's probably what's going on here, and all that's probably going to come to fruition in the next couple of months, if not this fall. But the other thing that came to mind when I read the statement was maybe more remasters, right? Unannounced titles in the Call of Duty universe. If it's not Warzone 2, if it's not the mobile crossover they're going to end up doing, then what about remasters? Probably campaign only, likely not any multiplayers, but considering Cold War is continuing the canon of the old Black Ops games, as confirmed on Treyarch's website, we need remasters from World at War to Black Ops 2, without a doubt. I think if people want to get caught up to speed with what's going on with the Black Ops canon, if they didn't play older games, now would be a good time to release a trilogy remaster of campaigns. Why not? For the games that are still canon to Black Ops right now, at least from what we understand, or better yet, right? If the COD cycle does end with Treyarch's next Black Ops, as previously rumored, sure, they'll still give MW2 and Black Ops 2023 a couple years of updates probably. We'll get year 2, year 3, we'll get more expansions even when there aren't any new CODs coming out, but maybe during that, when we start seeing year 2, year 3, that would be a good time to drop some remasters. People could play that for a while they wait for devs to get all the time they need to make a new Call of Duty or a new game entirely. That could work, and that could be the answer to when they could release remastered multiplayers that don't break the player bases for the current Call of Duties or for Warzone, because that's been the argument for years. They don't want to release another remastered multiplayer, whether it's from Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, MW2. They don't want to do that because they have a current agenda that deals with new Call of Duties coming out yearly and integrating those games with Warzone. So a remastered multiplayer would kind of go against that, to where they can't really monetize it, can't really add bundles to it. I mean, you could do battle pass progression with remastered multiplayers. I mean, they could probably make something work, but I think once the COD cycle ends properly, the yearly cycle, that's when remastered multiplayers could come into the mix. It's very likely. Now, if you guys are still wondering what happened to all the content that apparently was finished a couple of years ago for a Modern Warfare 2 remastered multiplayer, well, members of the press from VGC News and other outlets out there have went ahead and claimed that there will be remastered multiplayer maps featured inside of Warzone 2 or whatever the next big Warzone map is from Infinity Ward, whether that map releases this fall to launch the new Modern Warfare, or whether it launches with some type of other Warzone 2 release next year. We're not sure when that's coming out, but it looks like some fan favorite maps from the Modern Warfare series are going to still make a comeback at some point in 2022 and 2023. Now, going back to the next Call of Duty, Ralph over on Twitter did say something is happening this weekend. I'm not sure if he was referring to the tweet Infinity Ward already put out, because he tweeted this before Infinity Ward broke silence today, so maybe that's what it was. But his source is claiming that MW2 is very similar to MW 2019, as we all expected. They mentioned several new and already existing features in the game, and he said, and I quote, "I wasn't too happy with the gameplay, but it looks incredible." He then said MW 2019 is a hard title to follow up on, and I personally don't really agree with that statement. I mean, first off, you guys know I will agree with you when you say MW pushed the franchise in a new direction, it did good things for the DLC model and the way that seasons work. I get that, I respect it, but the foundation of the game in 2019 was confirmed to have been built for casuals. It was confirmed by developers at Infinity Ward, Joe Seacott and some others, that it was built for casuals, for new players, with safe spaces and strict skill-based matchmaking. That's why I couldn't stand behind that game, on top of the horrific map design that I just couldn't get on board with. I respected the game, sure, but I just couldn't get myself to enjoy it. I really couldn't. So I saw this great tweet earlier from Phantom Ice on Twitter saying, and I quote, "MW2 could be literal crap on a stick, and it will still be more popular than Vanguard because of the name." And that couldn't be closer to the truth. I mean, that's just the way things go. The next Black Ops could be a bad game, but the name will sell it. I mean, if Vanguard was a very solid game at its core and didn't have all the bugs that it does, and had some actual soul and passion put into it, then sure, maybe they would have had lower sales because of the name and it being unfamiliar, being World War II, but at least the game would have stood on its own 2 feet and still would have maybe allowed Sledgehammer to make sequels in the future. But with the way Vanguard is, I mean, it's just not in the state that it needs to be to warrant Sledgehammer doing Call of Duty for a little while. That's just my personal opinion, but it's like Buddy said here, yeah, the names will sell. And I said this years ago, Black Ops and Modern Warfare will always guarantee success for Activision. That's just the way it is. But for this next COD, I'm being optimistic. I just hope there's actual communication from Infinity Ward, accurate patch notes, and the ability to balance gameplay for both casuals and hardcore. I mean, everybody who loves Call of Duty will want the game to succeed without a doubt. But here's the thing, right? We have that DMZ Escape from Tarkov type mode that'll apparently be replacing Spec Ops and zombies. But I saw some great suggestions out there saying, well, if Treyarch and 10 other studios are helping with the game, maybe not in a serious way, but cleaning up some of the loose ends and any departments that need some extra help, if they're doing that, then maybe there's a possibility that we start seeing some type of small inclusion of zombies in the DMZ mode, whatever the mode actually is. Apparently Escape from Tarkov is huge inspiration for it. Maybe a little Easter egg or a bonus objective you can come across which features some zombies. I could see something like that happening, maybe even a copy paste of the zombies Outbreak we saw in Verdansk, where there'll be a machine spawning in somewhere around the map. You go up to it and it'll spawn like 20 or 30 zombies. You could just wipe those out and then move on to the next objective, whatever the case is with that. But I do think it's possible. I mean, it might be the first break from zombies we get since MW 2019. And that's fine, giving Treyarch more time to polish Black Ops 2023. They can step away from Vanguard finally and have more time to work on their own shit. So maybe that's what will happen, but I wouldn't be complaining if we saw a little bit of zombies in the new Modern Warfare mode, considering the canon right now, which suggests there was a zombies outbreak in Verdansk and we nuked the whole map. So zombies do exist in the Modern Warfare universe. Hey, maybe that could work. We also have the scrapped zombies mode from MW 2019. Maybe they'll take some little things they had worked on for that and somehow loosely tie that into this DMZ mode as a bonus. But last and definitely not least, another pretty crazy report from this Ralph dude who is saying that apparently Modern Warfare 2 will conclude the rebooted series of Modern Warfare, which is kind of strange to me because it feels like they just started fresh with the Modern Warfare name, and it felt like they wanted to hard reboot Modern Warfare, which means it's not connected to any of the older games because they have a new studio at Infinity Ward now. They have a new group of staff that maybe wants to give the series another try and take in a new direction they didn't go in 10 years ago. But maybe there won't be a MW3, or at least not anytime soon. And I guess this also makes sense if COD does end for a while, the yearly cycle at least, after Treyarch's next Black Ops. I'm still hoping for that 2025 crossover where David Mason could meet Task Force 141. That would be incredible if it's all still canon, dealing with the takeover from Menendez. Maybe that'll still happen. I mean, he also said Infinity Ward's not interested in bringing back any older franchises like Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Ghosts. They're looking beyond that. So that tells me they want to work on games that aren't Call of Duty at all. And I just personally think all COD developers will probably work on completely different games after the Microsoft acquisition. Once that goes through, I don't see them at all working on new Call of Duties for a little while. They'll work on other new games and probably still add updates to their current ones. But aside from that, that'll be it. I think we'll still see updates pretty frequently in Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and Black Ops 2023, but maybe we'll just start seeing remasters drop left and right until our COD studios either decide to release completely new games or new Call of Duties if they're even interested in that. I think even they want to break from the norm once they start answering to Phil Spencer instead of Bobby Kotick. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comments section. What are your thoughts on the slew of information we got today from Activision regarding the investors call that didn't really happen but kind of did through a blog post? How are you feeling about potential early release for Modern Warfare 2? And also, what are your thoughts on the future of Call of Duty as we know it? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.